Let's first tell you how has been India's COVID tally so far. In last 24 hours, viewers, India has reported 1,79,702 COVID cases. Now, we are close to 1,80,000 COVID cases as we speak, and third wave is now wreaking havoc in parts of the country, especially in metros. We are seeing Omicron being the dominant variant. And just see how the case count has gone up. From about 58,000 odd cases per day that were coming around 5th of January, now the tally has gone close to 2 lakh mark in a single day. And this tally continues to move northwards. The states are imposing restrictions for the people to save lives. But some Netas, viewers, it seems are above COVID. They are probably immune to COVID. Well, that's what they feel. Otherwise, what will justify any Neta holding any rally or a Padyatra amidst this third wave when we are seeing these kind of cases coming on a daily basis? Imagine 1,79,000 cases. Now, these are the number of people, viewers, who have tested positive for COVID-19 in just one day. And just imagine if this number keeps on going up like this, the kind of impact, the kind of burden it can put on our health infrastructure. Now, we are talking about tonight the state of Karnataka, where Karnataka Congress chief DK Shivakumar once again today denied COVID. In fact, he called it BJP's creation and has now even refused to take the COVID test. The BJP government in Karnataka has filed FIR against 30 Congress leaders for violating COVID safety guidelines. Now, these include Congress Karnataka chief DK Shivakumar, former Chief Minister of Karnataka Siddaramaiah, and senior Congress leader Mallikarjun Kharge. On the other hand, BJP's MLA Renuka Charya, who is also the political secretary to the Chief Minister, was also seen flouting norms the same day. And those are the visuals that we are getting for you. Now, he participated in a village fair earlier today. Massive crowd can be seen in these visuals. Now, Renuka Charya later apologized. But as far as DK Shivakumar is concerned, he said that Ramnagar additional deputy commissioner, who has also tested positive today, was sent by the BJP to sabotage his Padyatra. Can you believe it? That is the allegation that we have seen coming from the Congress party's DK Shivakumar towards the BJP. Now, the question tonight that we want to ask on Mirror Now on Urban Debate is that why is there one rule for public and another one for Netas? If there is a curfew for the public, for the people of Karnataka, then why are these Netas allowed to go out, hold Padyatra, or, meet people there? Is the health of public important, or politics, and that too amidst a pandemic? That's our big debate on Mirror Now this evening. We will be joined by Mohan Krishna, BJP leader from Karnataka. Lavanya Balal, AICC spokesperson, is also going to be joining us in a short while from now. Dr Om Srivastava, infectious diseases specialist and member, Maharashtra Covid Task Force. Thank you very much for joining us here on Mirror Now. Dr. Om, I want to first begin the discussion with you. You must have seen the visuals that we just showed to our viewers coming from Karnataka at a time when Karnataka is seeing about 12,000 cases coming in a single day. How worried are you seeing these visuals?
So, first up, thank you for having me on your show. Are these visuals worrying? Well, they're certainly going to be a cause for concern if the numbers continue to climb, and they're just going to keep climbing the way they are. We are going to see big numbers, and it's not going to be limited to Karnataka, but the rest of the country as well. It may come in a differential kind of involvement of other states. But yes, we are going to see large numbers of patients. So I would think that yes, if we ourselves are not going to restrict our movements, our activities, then we are going to be having to, pay the price for something like this, as we have seen in the second wave as well.
Okay, Dr. Srivastava, Stay on with us. Mohan Krishna, BJP leader, Karnataka, live with us. We're also joined by Lavanya Balal, AICC spokesperson. Lavanya Balal, I want to begin the discussion with you now about specifically on what DK Shivakumar, Karnataka Congress president, had to say today. First, he said there's no COVID, it's BJP's creation. And then he says he refuses to actually take COVID test. Is that what we are going to expect from the political leaders, people's representatives in the middle of the third wave?
Very valid concern that you have. But my question is, why do you want DK Shivakumar to take a COVID test? Is there any specific reason? Because recently, our Revenue Minister R. Ashok was tested positive. I don't see the BJP cabinet isolating itself, neither are they getting RT-PCR tests done. So is that one rule for BJP and one rule for Congress? Congress leaders, especially DK sir, has been insisting that people have to follow the COVID norms at the Padayatra. We are concerned about people's health.
No, but the point
and
then,
we are also
Mohan
concerned
Krishna,
about the pressing issue about the water project, where there is no water for Bangaloreans. It's a huge issue that people are battling. If not now, then when do we fight for this?
No, water project is important, Lavanya, but look at these visuals that we are showing to our viewers. The rally, this Padyatra, I mean, you know, in one set of visuals that we've got, we saw children as well. And it's not specific to the Congress party. The violations are being seen across party lines.
Okay. We are trying our level best to follow the COVID norms, and we are concerned about people's health, and we will not take it very lightly. Yes, we have seen the visuals that happened today. When there's a huge crowd of about 15 to 20,000 people, there are some people who will not follow the COVID norms in spite of insisting multiple times.
So whose responsibility, Mohan Krishna, is it to tell the people to follow COVID rules? Why do you have COVID rules at all then? When in the state of Karnataka, no processions or rallies are allowed, why are we seeing all of these still taking place? And that's the reason why I asked that question, Mohan Krishna, that why is it that there's one rule for the people of Karnataka and then another rule for leaders, the political leaders there?
You know, the way in which the Congress people are defending themselves, not by refusing giving a test. An example, leader in Kannada, there is a saying, "Tha Raja Tata Praja." DK Shivakumar, who is the president of the KPCC, is making their followers, the Congress, follow the rules. But he is going to make what the government is forced, or is a force.
If I could butt in a quick
pandemic.
Response.
One of the panelists, that
Lavanya, one second. Lavanya, one second.
I speak.
Mr. Krishna, go ahead.
People of Karnataka have seen this drama. It's going on from last 2 days. I would like to take 2 seconds and a minute maximum explain you what happened. Yesterday morning, for all the leaders, the Yatra headed by the Congress president, putting it on Congress president, not the Congress in total. Okay. If you look at the people, if you look at the crowd, there is no Congress workers much. It's the people who are from so many other places. Okay. That's one point. Second point, what was the earthly need for Mr. DK Shivakumar today? Sit with the children. Is he going to be a super spreader of COVID in Karnataka? For that reason, yesterday, DHO of Ramnagar district has gone and requested him for a test. What he should have done is he would have obliged for the test. Not the people of the union ministers and the state ministers and even the chief minister today. Just now I saw the tweet. Been tested positive. We are going for testing. Why? What was the utterly necessary? The Congress people refused. Sent them out saying that you are blackmailing and doing natak and drama and all this. Lavanya is saying.
Lavanya, will you like to respond?
Let me clarify.
Krishna would stop
There's a rule.
speaking.
COVID rule is same for everybody.
Would you
Mr.
ask
Krishna,
him
not
one
going to be
second.
different
Mr.
for
Krishna, 1 second. Let Lavanya respond now. Yes.
Mr. Mohan Krishna, you seem to have forgotten. We got the permission for the Padayatra from the BJP government. What were you guys doing? Why did you give us the permission? DK Shivakumar had explicitly said, if there is no permission for the Padayatra, I will walk alone. And you're insulting the people of Chamarajnagar and Ramnagara by saying, oh, they are people from some other place. What do you mean by some other place? Does that mean that they do not have, they are not beneficiaries of the Mekedatu project? Sir, please stop insulting the common
Not
citizens of
seek the
Karnataka.
permission from the government. Not there to
I'm
give
sorry,
the
I
permission.
can't hear you, sir.
Now you are saying
I'm
that
sorry.
we have taken the permission from the government. It is absolutely lie. Absolutely lie.
But Mr. Mohan Krishna, now the question is that if you are saying there was no permission granted to the Congress party, to Mr. DK Shivakumar to hold this Padyatra, what is stopping your government in Karnataka to take action against these people? 30 people have been booked, including Mr. DK Shivakumar, Mr. Siddaramaiah and Mr. Kharge. Why are you not taking action against the people who are present in the Padyatra along with Mr. DK Shivakumar? What is stopping your police in taking action? For example, I just got the data. There was weekend curfew, and I have seen that how so many vehicles were seized because there was a weekend curfew, and that's the reason why I asked that very precise question. Why is it that there are certain rules for the people of Karnataka but no rules at all for the politicians of Karnataka? What is stopping your government in taking action against the people who are flouting their rules?
Okay, I would like to mention here.
Mr. Krishna first, then Lavanya.
I would like to mention very simply to you, Mr. DK Shivakumar, he himself has categorically said yesterday, he was there to give the permission to me. Audacity, he has said that why should we seek permission from the government? We are doing Padyatra for people and we are doing it. This is the tone in which he has spoken yesterday. Okay? People of Karnataka are watching this. I would like to ask Lavanya today, Mr. Siddaramaiah, Mr. Kharge, and rest of all the leaders have left the arena and they have gone to their places. It is only, are you going to show some drama to Karnataka people and super spreader as a DK Shivakumar? Congress? There is a FIR against 31 people. Are going to answer. Why is going to take its own course of action? They are not.
Can I answer, please?
The supreme in the
Is
state.
it okay if I respond?
I will take care of all these things.
Yes.
Lavanya has to answer to the
Okay,
people
so
of
you're saying
Karnataka
law will
today.
take its own course. You have booked. Lavanya, 1 second, one at a time.
Lavanya has to answer to the people of Karnataka today.
Okay. Let her respond. Lavanya.
Is showing the strength of
Lavanya,
DK
please.
Shivakumar.
Coming from the Modi school of
You are blaming BJP
publicity
government.
or miscommunication that is misleading, Mr. Mohan Krishna is true to form. It is misleading. My question is, if you have filed FIR against our leaders, what is stopping you from taking further action? And if Mr. DK Shivakumar has spoken in an incorrect tone, sir, what is stopping you? You are the government. Are you saying you're scared of the cause that DK Shivakumar has picked up, that he is becoming more popular with the people than he is already, and that he's speaking up for the people of these districts? Is that what is scaring you?
Lavanya,
Is
you
that
want to
why
confront with the government?
you have given...
This is the modality of the Congress.
You need to have patience,
The
Mr.
model of
Krishna.
the
Let me
Congress.
finish.
To
Mr.
confront with
Krishna,
the
let me
government.
finish.
You
You
have
need
done
to have a
this in
little bit of
Punjab.
decorum, sir.
Done this in
You need to
Punjab
have
Mr.
a
and you are
Krishna,
doing it
let
now
her
in
finish.
Karnataka.
Mr. Krishna, 1 second. Mr. Krishna, one at a time. Let's have a civil debate, please. Mr. Krishna, I gave you time to respond. Let Lavanya make her point. Then I'll come back to you. Then I'll go across to Dr. Srivastava as well, who's been patiently hearing what the political parties have to say, how they are defending, the action by their leaders on the ground in the middle of a pandemic when everyone should be speaking actually in one voice. Lavanya first. Yes.
I do agree with you.
I would like to know what is stopping the Bommai government, the BJP government, from doing the right thing. If they think it is the right thing, why aren't they doing the right thing? Why did they even give the permission if they thought it was incorrect for us?
I'll get
to be on a
Mohan
Padayatra.
Krishna. I'll get Mr. Krishna to respond to this. But Lavanya, at the national level, if we see, then your party is cancelling rallies. In fact, it set an example for others to follow. But in Karnataka, your leaders are doing exactly the opposite. You want the government of Karnataka to take action against your leaders?
We would like to know what is stopping them from doing the right thing. We are doing the right thing. We are very confident that we are doing the right thing.
No.
So
First,
what is
you
stopping
answer.
the BJP government from doing the right thing?
Answer the specific question. First,
Yes.
you answer. I will get a response on that from Mr. Mohan Krishna. But Lavanya, now first you answer the specific question that I asked you. At the national level, it is your party which is setting an example. In fact, by cancelling the rallies, it was the first one, in fact, to come forward with that big decision in the state of Uttar Pradesh. But exactly the opposite is happening in Karnataka. Politics is more important than the health of the public.
We decided we will go ahead with this program, and we have gone ahead with this program. Yes, Congress nationally has set an example, whereas BJP has not set an example. So I don't think they're in any position to question us what we are doing. I will reiterate the point. We are concerned about people's health, and we are taking as many measures as possible to ensure that people are not hurt.
But that doesn't really seem to be happening on the ground, because the pictures are telling a different story. Mr. Mohan Krishna, on one hand, of course, it is the Padyatra of Mr. DK Shivakumar, which is a cause of huge concern. On the other hand, we have also seen your party's MLA attending a village fair where there was a large crowd too. What explains that, sir?
He has already apologized for what he has done, the mistake. Given the test, it has come negative also. And coming to the point of what Lavanya is saying, they are not able to defend. They have a double standard. Each and everything. Don't have principles. They don't care about the people. Don't care about the sentiments of the people. So people have brought BJP into the power. They should understand now. I'm not talking about tone in which he spoke. Shows his way in which he is thinking about the Karnataka and people. They have taken it for granted, Taken it for granted. Again and again, I'm stressing on one point. Mr. Siddaramaiah has left. Why? Siddaramaiah is hiding. The hiding is, has it given test for the COVID? The Karge has given test for the COVID. People going in the midst of the people when they are mixing and they are going in the big way. It is their bounden duty to protect the lives of the others. The Congress is not understanding this. Is it the way that they want to teach the people? Show them? Follow it? So we can understand.
The question still remains the same. The question still remains the same, Mr. Krishna. What is stopping the government of Karnataka from taking action against the people who are violating the rules? Your government is in power in the state of Karnataka. Vehicles of normal public are being seized. On a day, there is supposed to be a curfew in the state of Karnataka. 12,000 cases are coming on a daily basis. But you do not want to take action against these leaders and their workers who are openly flouting norms. And here, what we are only seeing is pure politics. Why?
There is no politics from the BJP end. Let me clarify you again and again and stress that point to you. Reason why we wanted to take the test of Mr. DK Shivakumar, the precautionary ground on his health grounds also, to see that it will not spread to others also. Now that leader himself is refusing to give a COVID test. Can you expect people to give a test then? We ask, if the government goes and asks, what the DK Shivakumar have set an example today. I'm just saying that should have given the test. What is wrong in that? There's one more thing. JP is not, people are not against JP as well as people are not against.
In fact, there was an allegation, Mr. Krishna, there was an allegation by the by the Karnataka Congress President Mr. DK Shivakumar that Ramnagar additional deputy commissioner who also tested positive today was deliberately sent by the BJP to sabotage his Padyatra. That was a very, very serious allegation towards your party.
No, see, allegations are there, and the way in which he is conducting from the last 1 week in Ramnagar district is known that it is a Republic of Ramnagar for DK Shivakumar and his brother DK Suresh. Congress feels that it's a republic. They want to take care of that. Look at the way that they are behaving. Look at the way. Think that people will accept them? Forget it.
I think Mr. Mohan Krishna is digressing.
Let's forget the politics. We are requesting Mr. DK Shivakumar.
Lavanya wants to respond. Lavanya wants to respond.
Yes. Mohan Krishna, ji, you are digressing. What you call Republic of Ramnagar is an insult once again to the Ramnagar people and the place, because you are basically saying there is no law and order, or the government law and order does not exist in Ramnagar, which is shameful, sir. Are you accepting that you are incapable of administration in Ramnagar? This is what you're saying. You're basically agreeing that you are incapable of administration in Karnataka, especially in Ramnagar. What wild accusations are you coming up with, sir?
Okay. Dr. Om Srivastava, you've heard how political parties have to respond. Nobody is really willing to take the responsibility. One is blaming the other. It clearly goes to show how serious the political parties are when it comes to protecting the health of the people of this country. They want people to follow all the norms, but they will not. How dangerous can this really be, sir, in your opinion?
Well, it can be very dangerous, as we've already seen with the kind of flouting of rules and regulations. It can just go out of hand within blinking time. You'll have no choice but to be a bystander and just watch how the horror unfolds, as we have seen also in the first wave, but more in the second wave. And I'm very clear about this, that, irrespective of who you are, we are first Indian citizens, and if any behavior puts another person's life at risk, that must be dealt with an iron hand. I'm quite happy to make a commitment like this on your channel. I think that if there is a behavior that is putting even one person's life at risk, then that needs to be stopped with an iron hand. This has got the potential to come back and haunt us in our face if we are not careful. This is not the only epidemic. There will be other COVIDs. There will be newer COVIDs. If we are not able to adapt to a newer way of life, I'm afraid we are only destined to keep repeating the horrors and the lessons of history again and again.
Just give me 30 seconds.
Lavanya, you heard what Dr. Om Srivastava had to say. Mr. Krishna, 1 second. Lavanya, you heard what Mr. Om Srivastava had to say. You are trying to suggest that you have got a permission from the BJP government in Karnataka, and that's why you're going ahead with this Padyatra. When there are restrictions in place, when the processions and rallies are banned in the state of Karnataka of any kind, then why can't the Congress party stop it for the moment? It is for the people. I completely agree with you. But can it be at the cost of people's life?
No, absolutely not. We are very particular about it. It is not at the cost of people's lives. We are not at all intending to do that. We have requested people to follow the COVID norms. We are trying our level best to ensure that people are following the COVID norms. But unfortunately, when there are people gathering, like 15 to 20,000 people walking, sometimes some people do not follow the COVID norms, but we are trying to ensure that they do. Having said that, I would like to suggest to Mr. Mohan Krishna, sir, it's your government. If you think that what we are doing is incorrect, please go ahead and take action. Our leaders are willing to get arrested.
So you yourself will not stop this Padyatra. You yourself will not stop this Padyatra for political consideration. You want BJP government in Karnataka to take action. Mr. Mohan Krishna, again, the same question I want to ask you. What is stopping the BJP government in Karnataka in taking action against the people who are flouting the norms?
Where we have stopped, let me tell me. They have put an FIR on 31 people yesterday.
How did you
No,
stop?
one
You
second,
tell
one
me.
second, one
You tell
second,
me how
one
did
second.
you stop them? 1 second. You tell me how have you stopped it? You tell me how have you stopped it? FIR has been filed. FIR, I understand, has been filed. But what next? Nobody has been arrested. Nobody has been stopped. We saw Mr. DK Shivakumar, with children as well, without wearing masks, and there was hardly any social distancing, sir. Whose responsibility is it to stop such processions, such rallies amidst a pandemic in a state? The state government's responsibility, or is it the opposition's responsibility?
He thought that have the mature people, they are mature people. They have the former CM, now the opposition leader, Mr. Siddaramaiah, thought that will advise Mr. Kharge, who is senior Congress leader and a senior politician in Karnataka, will advise Mr. DK Shivakumar and others, Congress people. We will postpone this program till February or March, and we will take it up later. We thought till the last moment. The DK Shivakumar was adamant. I've come to know from the sources. I'm asking Lavanya today, why Mr. Siddaramaiah, why Mr. Kharge, why Mr. Parmeshwar, why so many leaders? I would like to ask a very important question to Lavanya today on this show. Where is Mr. Zamir Ahmad Khan? Where is Mr. Zamir Ahmad Khan? Asking in their tone. He thought that Mr. Siddaramaiah has given the administration to the state for 5 years. Congress has ruled for so many years in Karnataka and in the country. And matured enough, we thought that they are going to take a decision. We have kept. Now, the FIR has been filed. Just wait and watch. Law will take its own course of action. We have the people to take the action. It's not that it is confronting, basically. DK Shivakumar is confronting. It's from last week onwards, the Ramnagar issue also. If you're going to send me to jail, I've seen Tihar jail. Let me see Ramnagar jail. Is it the way leader will speak? Tell me, is it the way leader will speak?
Lavanya, is this the time really to do politics? Why can't this Padyatra be postponed? Is this the time to do politics? Simple question. You're waiting for the BJP government to stop your Padyatra, which in itself is a violation.
India also, they are becoming the super spreaders. Congress is becoming the super spreader. Karnataka, for past 3 days, the positivity rate has gone up to 2%.
Mr. Krishna, let Lavanya now respond. Mr. Krishna, you've made your point. Let her respond now. Yes, Lavanya.
There were plans of postponing the Padayatra. There was a time when we were thinking, should we have the Padayatra now or later? And then we decided, if we get permission, let us go ahead with the Padayatra. If we do not get the permission, only our leaders would have walked the Padayatra. That is DK sir and Siddaramaiah ji would have walked the Padayatra. Mr. Mohan Krishna, we were asking about, I think, Siddaramaiah ji's presence. He's had his booster shots and he's not feeling so great. That's why he's left the Padayatra yesterday afternoon and he will be back. All the leaders will be back, sir. That's your digression from the topic. I would like to reiterate the point that Congress is concerned about the people and people's health. Also,
no. Let's stick to what I am asking, Lavanya. I asked you a straight question. Lavanya, 1 second. Lavanya, please keep politics aside. I asked you a simple question. When across the country, warnings are being given that we cannot afford to have a very severe third wave. Already case count across the country is close to 2 lakh per day. In Karnataka, it is about 12,000 per day. Why is it that your party wants BJP government to tell you to stop your Padyatra when, nationally, if you see, your leadership is setting an example by stopping rallies? Why can't the same thing be done in the state of Karnataka? Why do you want BJP to stop you, ma'am?
We do not want the BJP to stop. We just want to do this Padayatra because it is so crucial for the people of Karnataka.
At the cost of people's lives? At the cost of people's lives? Are you seeing the visuals? Ma'am, it's scary.
Yes.
You see the
Yes.
visuals. There is zero social distancing. Hardly anyone is seen wearing a mask. Just look at these visuals. Look how many people are there around Mr. DK Shivakumar.
Yes.
And attempts, of course, are being made to push them away from Mr. DK Shivakumar. But there is no social distancing. You said earlier, some people aren't following rules. Just look, the number is in hundreds and thousands that I can see on my screen right now. Is this justified amid a pandemic? Simple question. Leave politics aside. Is this justified?
So when do you think that we should work? Should the policy making come to a halt because there is a pandemic going on? Is that what you're suggesting? That policy making should come to an end?
No, I'm not suggesting anything. I'm asking you a simple question. I'm nobody to suggest anything here. I'm asking a simple question for the people of Karnataka. When 12,000 plus cases are coming on a daily basis, is this kind of crowding that we are seeing justified? You tell me.
Are people crowding here? Yes, definitely. Is it justified? I think if we are following the COVID norms, I think it's perfectly fine to have this Padayatra. We are concerned about people's well-being. We are definitely concerned about it.
Dr. Om Srivastava, I want to give you the last word. You've heard both the political parties here on the show. You've seen visuals coming from different parts of Karnataka. Mr. Krishna, 1 second. But Dr. Srivastava, I want you to tell them how serious the situation is. Policy making can wait. It can't be at the cost of the lives of people of Karnataka or the people of this country, sir. Why don't you tell them how serious the situation is?
So look, we've just got to look eastwards, right? If we look at where this started in places like Botswana or parts of Africa or even Southeast Asia, and then it went on to places like the UK and the US, those numbers are so overwhelming that the entire country's public health system is not able to cope, because forget about not having enough doctors, there are not enough nurses, there are not enough beds, there are not enough paramedical staff, and that if you have a symptom, only then you are encouraged to come and do the testing. Otherwise, you're advised to stay at home. Now, that's not health systems in 2022. All these people that we are talking about, or the visuals that you have shown, all these people are going to be put at risk for that kind of an outcome if we are not careful about our kind of behavior. So I have to say that, I'm in the company of some very learned people. So it would be inappropriate to say something that would be injudicious. But I would urge that, if it is not possible to keep social distancing, please consider disbanding this entire program until COVID-19 and Omicron comes more under control, which is not going to be too far ahead. I think by the time it comes to March or maybe even early April, we should have a grip over Omicron. But until then, I can only urge, through your channel, people who are listening, to try and maintain those things that are not going to be putting you in harm's way and not going to be putting other people in harm's way as well.
Well, that's an important point that you've made, Dr. Srivastava, and I hope the political leaders are listening. Mr. Krishna was raising his hand. 10 seconds only, sir. I'm completely out of time. Closing comments now.
I would like to request through your channel and Lavanya, please let her talk to the leader, PCC President, learned and mature leader DK Shivakumar. They are following COVID norms, and let him give tests and talk about other norms. Okay? Please, Lavanya, to your leader, to follow
All right.
the COVID
Thank
test
you.
and about the norms.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much, all of you, for joining us here on Urban Debate on Mirror Now this evening. We can really hope that, now some good sense will prevail and this crowding at least is going to stop in the state of Karnataka, because clearly this is not good at a time when Omicron cases are spreading like wildfire, not just in Karnataka but across the country.